We're restructuring, hope there's no hard feelings, you understand how business works. My name's Garrett Sullivan, I'm 64 years old, spent 29 years keeping Ridgemont Technologies running. 29 years of showing up at 5:30 in the morning, fixing what was broken, training every new hire who walked through those doors. Never took a sick day, never complained when they asked me to work weekends, never said no when they needed someone to stay late, make sure the servers didn't crash overnight. 4 days, that's all I had left before my full pension kicked in. 4 days before I could walk out with my head high, my future secure. Drake Morrison just told me I was done. Didn't even look at me when he said it, just stared at his laptop like I was some line item he was crossing out. The conference room felt small. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, same as always when the building got quiet. I could see through the glass walls to the cubicles where people I'd trained were working. Had no idea the guy who showed them how to fix the AC, taught them which vendors to trust, was getting fired. Budget cuts, Drake said, finally looking up. We're moving in a leaner direction. Nothing personal, Garrett, just business. I nodded. What else was I going to do, argue? I'd seen other guys my age get walked out by security for making a scene. That wasn't going to be me. If you like stories about workplace backstabbing and how the little guy can beat the system, hit that like button, subscribe right now. Every day we share brand new stories about people who refuse to get screwed over. The paperwork was already printed, waiting in a manila folder. Final paycheck stuff, health insurance, return company property. I signed where they told me to sign, used the same pen I'd been carrying for 5 years, the one with the Ridgemont logo starting to fade. Badge and keys, Drake said, stuck out his hand. I unclipped my ID badge from my belt, same spot it lived for nearly 30 years. Plastic was worn smooth from swiping through card readers. My employee photo looked younger, taken when my hair was still brown, when I thought I'd retire from this place with some dignity. The keys felt heavy. Master keys to every door, equipment rooms, supply closets, loading dock. I'd been trusted with everything. Put them in Drake's palm, didn't say a word. Picked up my paperwork, walked out. Past the cubicles where people were looking away, past the break room where I ate lunch at the same table for 29 years, past security where I'd checked in thousands of times. Parking lot was quiet. My truck started first try, same as always. Sat there for a minute, engine running, looked back at the building. Something felt wrong about the whole thing. I built my life around that place. Started when I was 35, fresh off a divorce that took half my money. Job wasn't glamorous. Facilities management meant I fixed the plumbing when it backed up, made sure the heat worked in winter. But it was steady work, good benefits. They promised if I stuck around, they'd take care of me. Ridgemont wasn't much back then. Maybe 50 people, 2 buildings, trying to figure out what kind of tech company they wanted to be. I watched them grow, helped them expand to 4 buildings. When they needed someone to build the new data center, they asked me. When city inspectors showed up asking about building codes, they sent me. I trained every facilities guy who came after me. Showed them how to read blueprints, how to deal with contractors, how to keep costs down. Most moved on to better jobs. I stayed. This was my place. My wife died 8 years ago, cancer. Company insurance covered most treatments. Drake's boss before him let me take time off for doctor visits, hospital stays. When she died, half the office came to the funeral. Good people, good company. Drake was different when he took over 3 years ago. Younger guy, MBA from some fancy school, looked at everything like it was a problem to solve, including people who'd been there since before he was born. Started bringing in consultants to optimize things. Started talking about right-sizing the workforce. Signs were there if I'd wanted to see them. Drake stopped saying hello when he passed me in the hall. Stopped including me in monthly meetings. When I sent in budget requests, they came back with questions I'd never had to answer. Why so many maintenance contracts? Could we get by with fewer safety inspections? Wasn't I getting too old to climb ladders? Figured he was just showing everyone he was making changes. I'd seen it with other managers. They come in, make noise, then settle down once they realize how things work. But there were other things. Conversations that stopped when I walked in, meetings I wasn't invited to. New hire in facilities who kept asking about my job, what I did, how I did it. Stuff he shouldn't need to know unless someone was planning to replace me. Should have paid attention, should have asked questions. But I was 4 days from my pension vesting. All I could think about was making it to the finish line. That night I sat at my kitchen table with the paperwork spread out. Numbers didn't add up. According to my records, I had 29 years, 11 months. According to their paperwork, 29 years, 10 months. 1 month short of full benefits. Got out my old employee handbook from 15 years ago. Clear as day, 30 years service or age 65, whichever comes first, for full benefits. I was 64 with 29 years, 11 months. 4 more days and I would have hit 30 years. Then I remembered Drake's company memo from last month. Kept a copy because it seemed important. Updates to employee handbook, clarifications about retirement benefits, company committed to honoring all agreements. All retirement calculations will be based on continuous years of service. Employees approaching retirement should review their records to ensure accuracy. But what Garrett didn't know was that Drake had made a mistake that would destroy everything. Got out my calculator, went through my pay stubs, every single one 15 years back. Holiday pay, overtime, vacation, sick leave, everything documented. Everything matched 29 years, 11 months. They got it wrong on purpose, or hoped I wouldn't notice. Thought about calling Drake, demanding they fix it. But what's the point? He already made it clear I was done. Would just give him another chance to make excuses. Thought about getting a lawyer. But lawyers cost money I didn't have. Fighting big companies with deep pockets was for young guys. Then I remembered Helena Crawford. Worked in HR at Ridgemont for 12 years before retiring last year. Smart woman, always played by the book, never let the company screw employees. Heard she was doing consulting now, helping companies avoid legal problems from treating people bad. Found her number, stared at it for a long time. Making that call meant admitting I got screwed, meant fighting back instead of walking away. But sitting there looking at 29 years of pay stubs and paperwork that didn't match, something clicked. I wasn't angry. I was focused. Picked up the phone, dialed. Helena answered second ring. Voice was same as I remembered, direct, no bullshit. "Garrett Sullivan," she said before I could say anything. Heard what happened. Word travels fast. Told her everything. Timing of my firing, wrong service calculation, Drake's attitude past few months. She listened, asked questions about dates, paperwork. "You kept all your pay stubs?" she asked. "Everything. Memos, policy updates, everything important. My wife always told me, keep good records." Smart woman. What Drake did isn't just wrong, it's illegal. Federal law protects employees from getting fired to prevent collecting benefits. But proving it needs more than timing. We need to show intent. She explained how these cases work. Department of Labor takes them seriously, but they need evidence, documentation, a pattern. Something showing the firing wasn't bad timing but planned fraud. "Bring everything to my office Monday morning," she said. "Don't talk to anyone at Ridgemont, don't post anything online, don't tell your neighbors. If this goes where I think it's going, we want them thinking they got away with it." Monday morning drove to Helena's office with 3 boxes of paperwork. Pay stubs, handbooks, memos, performance reviews, email printouts. 29 years of documentation, organized by date. She went through everything carefully, taking notes on a legal pad. When she got to Drake's memo from last month, stopped, read it twice. "This is perfect," she said. "He put in writing that service calculations should be accurate, then fires you with wrong calculations 4 days before you hit 30 years. Either he's stupid or lying. What's the difference? Stupid gets you your job back. Lying gets you your job back plus damages plus federal investigation that could shut down their whole HR department." She explained the process. File complaint with Department of Labor, they investigate, interview people, review documents. If they find evidence of planned benefit denial, Ridgemont faces serious penalties. Not just fines, criminal charges for people involved. How long's it take? Could be weeks, could be months. But Garrett, once we file this complaint, no going back. Drake's gonna know you didn't just walk away quiet. He's gonna fight back. She was right. Tuesday afternoon, my phone rang. Drake's name on screen. "Garrett, heard you've been talking to people about your firing. Hope you're not planning anything stupid." Didn't say anything. "Look, I get it, you're upset. But we followed company policy. Your service record shows 29 years, 10 months. Got the documentation right here." "What documentation?" "Your hiring date, January 15th, 1996. Termination date, November 8th, 2024. Simple math, he was lying. Started at Ridgemont December 15th, 1995. Had the offer letter to prove it. But Drake was setting up his defense, trying to get me arguing over the phone where he could control things. "I'm not looking for trouble," I said. "Good, because if someone filed a complaint against the company, we'd have to defend ourselves. Defending ourselves might mean looking real close at that person's work history. Making sure they never violated policies, never took anything, never said anything that hurt the company." Threat was clear. Fight back and they'd destroy what was left of my reputation. "I understand," I said, hung up. But what Drake didn't know was Helena had already filed the complaint that morning. Helena called Wednesday evening with news that changed everything. "Department of Labor moved fast," she said. "They've been watching Ridgemont for a while. You're not the first person this happened to." She talked to the investigator on my case. Past 2 years, 3 other longtime employees at Ridgemont got fired within months of pension eligibility. All in their 60s, all with service records that got mysteriously wrong. They're calling it a pattern, Helena said. Systematic benefit denial. Kind of thing that gets companies put on federal watch lists. But there was more. Investigator requested personnel files for all 4 fired employees. Found emails between Drake and new HR director about optimizing workforce, reducing benefit costs. They weren't even smart about it, Helena said. Used company email, talked about specific employees by name. Your name came up 6 times in 3 months. What'd they say about me? That you were a legacy cost. Your pension and health care would be expensive. Your job could be eliminated, responsibilities split between existing staff. They'd been planning this for months. While I was coming in early, staying late, training new people, fixing problems, they were figuring out how to get rid of me without paying what they owed. There's something else, Helena said. Investigator wants to interview you Thursday morning. They're bringing someone from criminal division. Criminal? When a company deliberately fires employees to avoid paying benefits, that's not just civil. That's fraud, wire fraud if they used email to plan it. People can go to prison. Thursday morning, sat in conference room at Department of Labor building. 2 investigators, both younger than my son, both in expensive suits. Recorded everything, asked me to walk through my work history year by year, showed me emails I'd never seen. Emails were worse than Helena described. Drake and HR director didn't just discuss firing me, they discussed firing anyone close to pension eligibility. Called it proactive workforce management. Had spreadsheet with names, dates, projected savings. Mr. Sullivan, one investigator said, based on what we've seen, we believe Ridgemont engaged in deliberate scheme to defraud multiple employees of earned benefits. Your case's most recent example. Showed me documents I'd never seen. Internal communications about cost of older employees. Memos about renegotiating pension obligations. Presentation to board including slide titled Legacy Employee Transition Strategy. My name was on that slide, along with names of 3 other employees who got fired. All listed under Q4 optimization targets. We need you to testify, other investigator said. This is going to trial. Federal court. People responsible will be held accountable. Thought about Drake in that conference room, telling me just business, nothing personal. Thought about 29 years getting up at 5:30, fixing things, believing loyalty would be rewarded. What do you need me to do? Federal investigation moved fast. Following Monday, investigators seized Ridgemont's email servers, interviewed 6 employees. Wednesday, executed search warrant on Drake's office HR department. Helena kept me updated. Investigators found more evidence than they knew what to do with. Internal documents going back 3 years showing systematic plan to eliminate older employees. Spreadsheets calculating pension savings. Email threads discussing timing for firings to avoid legal problems. They kept records of everything, Helena told me over coffee Thursday morning. Like they wanted to get caught. Plan was simple, brutal. Find employees approaching pension eligibility, question their performance, fire them before benefits vest, save millions in costs. Drake presented it to board as financial necessity. Company growing but pension obligations eating into profits. Younger employees cost less to insure, didn't need long-term benefits. Basic business math. What he didn't count on was someone like me keeping detailed records, someone like Helena understanding federal law, investigators who took benefit fraud seriously. Friday afternoon, Drake called again. Voice different, higher, nervous. Garrett, think there's been a misunderstanding about your firing. We should talk, work something out. What misunderstanding? Your service record. We may have made an error in calculation. If you come in Monday morning, we could review everything, make sure you get what you deserve. He was panicking. Investigation was public now in business section. Ridgemont's stock dropped 15% in 2 days. Board asking questions Drake couldn't answer. Don't think that's necessary. Garrett, please. We've worked together for years. Let's handle this professional. No lawyers, no government agencies. Just 2 reasonable people working out a disagreement. Too late for reasonable. Department of Labor already filed charges. Criminal charges, not civil. Drake facing 5 years in federal prison for wire fraud, conspiracy to defraud employees. That's when things got really interesting. Monday morning got call from company lawyer. Not Drake, real company lawyer they bring in when things get serious. Mr. Sullivan, my client wants to discuss settlement. Full pension benefits, healthcare coverage, additional compensation for your trouble. How much additional? We're prepared to offer $50,000 provided you agree not to pursue further legal action. Said I'd think about it, called Helena. Don't take it, she said immediately. They're scared. Criminal charges are just the beginning. Once this hits federal court, other employees will come forward. This will be class action worth millions. She was right. By Tuesday, Department of Labor got contacted by 8 more current former Ridgemont employees who thought their firings or benefit calculations were wrong. Thursday, it was 15. Local news picked up story. Federal investigation targets local tech company. Drake's photo on front page, looking uncomfortable in suit that seemed too big. Didn't have to do anything but wait. System working exactly like it should. Drake about to learn what it felt like having someone else decide your future. By end of week, investigation expanded beyond what anyone imagined. Department of Labor investigators found pattern going back 3 years. Not just 4 employees, but 18. All longtime workers, all fired within months of pension eligibility, all with service records adjusted to prevent full benefits. Total fraud exceeded $2 million in stolen benefits. Tuesday morning, I was drinking coffee, reading paper when phone rang. Helena, calling early. Turn on channel 6, she said. Now, found remote, switched to local news. Drake Morrison getting led out of Ridgemont building in handcuffs. Federal agents carrying boxes of documents behind him. Reporter talking about wire fraud charges, conspiracy to defraud employees. Federal prosecutors say Morrison and HR Director Patricia Walsh engaged in systematic scheme to fire longtime employees before they became eligible for full pension benefits. Alleged fraud cost affected employees hundreds of thousands of dollars. Camera showed Drake stumbling as agents helped him into federal marshal's car. Face was pale, perfect hair messed up. Looked smaller than I remembered. Indictment charges Morrison with 14 counts of wire fraud, conspiracy, reporter said. If convicted, he faces up to 70 years in federal prison. Turned off TV, sat in quiet kitchen. 29 years getting up before sunrise, fixing things, believing loyalty mattered. It had mattered, just not how I thought. Helena called hour later with more news. Department of Labor finished their investigation, she said. 18 employees affected, total damages over $2 million. Ridgemont's board fired Drake and Walsh immediately, agreed to full restitution for everyone affected. What's that mean for me? Your pension fully restored, backdated to when it should have started. Plus healthcare, additional compensation. How much additional? $200,000 plus your legal fees. Thought about Drake telling me just business, nothing personal, just how things work. Next few weeks moved like blur. More arrests? Patricia Walsh led away in handcuffs, looking shocked like she couldn't believe this was happening. Local paper ran daily updates. Ridgemont executives face federal charges. Employee fraud scheme exposed. Justice for wrongfully terminated workers. Drake's lawyer tried everything, claiming it was misunderstanding, firings based on legitimate business needs, timing was coincidental. But evidence was overwhelming. Hundreds of emails, internal presentations, spreadsheets calculating savings from eliminating older workers. Federal prosecutor was woman about my daughter's age. Serious professional. Explained employee benefit fraud was federal crime. Companies couldn't steal what workers earned. People like Drake needed to understand there were consequences. Helena was right about class action. By time everything was settled, 23 current and former Ridgemont employees joined the case. Company agreed to pay $4.2 million total damages, plus legal fees, plus full restoration of all benefits. Drake pleaded guilty to avoid trial, got sentenced 18 months federal prison. Patricia Walsh got 6 months, 2 years probation. Both lost professional licenses, both unemployable in any position of trust. Ridgemont Technologies got bought by larger company that cleaned house, brought in new leadership, new policies to prevent same thing happening again. 3 months later, I was in my workshop, building bookshelf for my daughter. Tools felt good in my hands, smell of sawdust, sound of wood being shaped into something useful. Reminded me why I'd always been good at fixing things. Pension payments started on schedule. Additional compensation sat in savings account earning interest. Hadn't touched it yet, wasn't sure I needed to. After 29 years steady work, I had everything I needed. Daughter called while I was sanding the bookshelf. She'd seen news story online, wanted to make sure I was okay. I'm proud of you, Dad, she said, for standing up for yourself. Didn't do anything special, I told her. Just made phone call. Sometimes that's enough. Finished bookshelf that afternoon, loaded it in my truck. She'd been asking for one for months. Finally had time to build it right. Solid oak, dovetail joints, kind that lasts decades. Driving to her house, thought about difference between building something and just fixing what someone else broke. Both had their place, both mattered. But building something new felt better. Local paper ran follow-up story. Local man's complaint leads to federal investigation. Wanted to interview me, but I said no. Wasn't looking for attention, just wanted what I earned. Story spread anyway. People in town recognized me at grocery store, bank, coffee shop. Some wanted to shake my hand, some wanted to tell me about their own employer problems, some just wanted to say they were glad someone finally stood up to corporate bullies. Workshop became my new office. Building furniture for family, friends, fixing things people brought me, staying busy on my own terms. No boss, no schedule, no corporate politics. Just me and the work, way it should be. Sometimes drive past old Ridgemont building, see new company logo on sign, new cars in parking lot. Different people, different management, hopefully different values. Building looks same, but everything inside changed. Drake Morrison learned some people aren't worth crossing. Some people keep records, some people know their rights, some people have friends who understand federal law better than fancy MBA programs teach. He learned when you steal from people who gave you loyalty, their best years, eventually someone's gonna notice. Eventually someone's gonna fight back. Eventually justice finds its way to your door. Whole thing taught me something too. After 29 years fixing other people's problems, sometimes you gotta fix your own. Sometimes you gotta stop accepting what you're given. Start demanding what you earned. Sometimes making one phone call can change everything. If you enjoyed this story about how keeping good records and standing up for yourself can beat even powerful people, hit that like button, let me know what you think in comments. Drake thought he was dealing with just another old employee who'd go quiet, but he picked wrong guy to mess with. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and hit notification bell for more smart revenge stories like this. Thanks for watching. See you next video.
I'm freezing. I'm bleeding. Slowly fading away. But don't worry. I'm fine. The cold has settled in my heartbeat, like winter living in my veins. Every breath feels numb and fragile. Every smile just hides the pain. I'm breaking quietly in silence, falling slow without a sound. Yet I keep saying I'm okay, while my world burns to the ground. I'm frozen here, I'm bleeding slowly, dying piece by piece inside. But I still whisper, it's alright, just to keep you from goodbye. I'm shattered, love, but don't you worry. I'll pretend till my last breath, even while my soul is fading. I'll say everything's okay. Maybe pain just learned to live here. Maybe sorrow feels like home. So I wear my wounds like armor and survive them all alone. I'm frozen here, I'm bleeding slowly, dying piece by piece inside. But I still whisper, it's alright, just to keep you from goodbye. I'm shattered, love, but don't you worry. I'll pretend till my last breath, even while my soul is fading. I'll say everything's okay. If you ever see me smiling, no, it's just my last defense. 'Cause sometimes love means hiding how much you're suffering. No, I'm frozen here, I'm bleeding slowly, dying piece by piece inside. But I still whisper, it's alright, just to keep you from goodbye. I'm shattered, love, but don't you worry. I'll pretend till my last breath, even while my soul is fading. I'll say everything's okay. It's okay. Some days feel off, like I'm standing but still falling. A little pain, a little tired, and no one to tell it all to. There are days that feel unsteady, like I'm drifting out of place. Every step just feels so heavy, with a smile I have to fake. A little hurt I keep inside me, a little weight I always hide, and 1,000 quiet worries I've been holding deep inside. There's no one here to tell it to, no one who would understand. So I carry all these feelings like they're slipping through my hands. A little broken, little lost, trying hard to just get through. All these nights I stay awake with everything I never say to you. I keep walking through the silence like it's all I've ever known. Every crowded room reminds me how it feels to be alone. There's no one here to tell it to, no one who would understand. So I carry all these feelings like they're slipping through my hands. A little broken, little lost, trying hard to just get through. All these nights I stay awake with everything I never say to you. Maybe one day I'll be stronger, maybe I'll learn how to speak, but for now I keep it buried in the parts of me too weak. There's no one here to tell it to, no one who would understand. So I carry all these feelings like they're slipping through my hands. A little broken, little lost, trying hard to just get through. All these nights I stay awake with everything I never say to you.